This is arguably the most important thing you can do for your game. When you start a project that's going to be a little more long term, I highly recommend that you use some kind of source control. I'm going to show you guys how to set up Git for your Unity project, but this really just ensures that you can go back to a previous version if you mess something up. It's basically like a major heavy duty undo button, and also if somehow your computer dies and you lose the data and it gets corrupted, you have a backup of your project in the cloud, so you can retrieve that back down on any computer if you want to work on it anywhere else, or if your computer somehow dies. So highly recommend setting up version control if you're making any kind of long-term project that's not like a test or a, just trying stuff out kind of project. It really could save your project and like prevent you from just quitting and giving up. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Git with Unity, and let's jump into it. For all this stuff is going to be in the description, but first we're going to go to Git download. Just type that into Google, and then we're going to hit this first go to download, and then download the appropriate one for your operating system, and that will download Git onto your computer, and then we can go on with the next step. Go to github.com. You need to have an account with them, so you'll need to set up an account. I already have one, so I'm not going to show you how to do that, but here is your homepage, and here you can introduce yourself to, it's a public page. It's almost like a social media profile, but it's really where you put all of your repositories. And repositories, as you can see over here on the side of the screen, the repositories is basically just all the projects that you have, and this is just a storage container for really any files. It doesn't even have to be code necessarily, so you could put a bunch of different pictures up here or something. The repositories do have a file size limit sometimes, and you have a space limit for how big of a project you can set up, how big your repo can get, but you can just use this as a backup storage container if you wanted to. But it's mainly used for code and being able to track the version history of code updates and that kind of stuff, and being able to work on a team. This makes it super easy for me to make a change, push it up, and then an artist to pull my changes to the game down, add their art elements, and then repush their changes back up to the cloud. Pushing just means that you're putting your changes back onto the cloud server. So let's make a new repository and go through this setup. I'll show you guys how to do it. So we're gonna click new, and you have an owner, so there's obviously going to be someone who owns the repository, and then you have to give it a unique name because this is also going to be the URL that the repository has. So I usually just put my name before, and then I can say whatever the name of the project is. So I'm going to say VR Git demo, and then if you want, you can add a description, and then you choose whether you want this repo to be public or private. And if you're using any Unity assets, you have to use the private GitHub, or else it'll be taken down, because a lot of these assets you have to buy them, and so if they're found on GitHub, then you could either be sued or your project will just be taken down. So make sure to use private if you're using any kind of assets from the store. And then down here you have a few different files you can add. So a README is basically just a description of the project, and if someone downloads all the code, it's a brief description of this is what the project does, this is how to get it running, that kind of thing. And a git ignore means these are the files that are going to stay on your computer but not get pushed up to the server. And these are things like metadata files and user settings and that kind of stuff. So they actually have a template set up for Unity already. So I can find that and click that, and that will go ahead and put in all the Unity files that we don't need in the cloud. And then if you're planning on using this project as a more of an open source project or something like that, you can pick to have an MIT license or another kind of license just to protect your project a little more. But we're not actually going to distribute this code for this example anywhere except for our team. So we're not going to use a license for this one. So let's click create repository, and then you'll see this is the dashboard for this repository. So you have different issues, people can mark bugs and that kind of stuff. Pull request is when you are working in a team and you want to have like an organized way that people can merge their code back in so there's no conflicts. Actions, you can use this to set up your build pipeline. So if you've heard of continuous integration, continuous deployment, this is where you would do that. So whenever someone were to push some code and merge it with the cloud, then you could kick off a build and just get a new .exe file spun up with these actions. The projects tab you can use for planning, so this could be your task list. You could put everything here so you don't have to have a Trello board and a GitHub. You could do it all in this place here. You can define your security, set those up. Insights, this is mainly used for teams, finding their burn down, figuring out how fast they're going to be able to finish the project and whatnot. And then you have a settings, and in here you can also also rename this repository as well and add like a image and different things like that. So feel free to explore this. Just click on all the tabs. That's the best way to learn. That's how I learn, is just, do it and then click around, see what happens. So you'll notice we have 2 files in here, and we want to put our Unity project inside of this. And in order to do that, we need to download this repo onto our local machine. And to do that, we need to download GitHub Desktop. So just type in GitHub Desktop in the search. It's not this Circle CI one. It's this desktop.github.com. And then you download that. And after you download it, you'll have something that looks like this. So we are currently in one of my repositories that for the game that I'm making right now, but let's add a new repository. So you can either click on this drop down and say add clone repository, or we can go up to file, clone repository. And then we want to do it from a URL. And then if your account is linked, you can just select the repository you want to download from this github.com. So ours would be the Justin P. Barnett -vr-git-demo. But if we weren't using, let's say, github.com as our repository, whatever, we could go back to our repository, click on this code drop down, and then this URL here, we could copy that and then paste this URL into, and this is where it's going to draw our repo from. And then you also need to choose a local path. So where you're going to save it on your computer. It pays to stay organized. So I'm going to save it in this folder here, and then you hit clone, and that will bring the files down from the server. So now if you were to go to wherever that file is, you'll see it's been downloaded from the server, and we have those 2 files here, and then you have a .git hidden file, and this basically just contains all of the Git code that handles pushing and pulling different code. So let's actually make a Unity project, and basically all we need to do is create a new Unity project and drop it into this folder. So I'm just going to make a new 2021 project, call this one Git Demo, and then we're going to navigate to the specific folder. So we want to drop it inside on the same level where the .git file is. This folder might actually be hidden for you, so you might not even see it, but I've got my directory set up so that it shows even the hidden folders. But anyway, we're going to save it inside of the whatever the repository is called, inside of that folder. So we'll select that and then hit create. So we have this brand new Unity project, and you've got a sample scene in there, empty, but we've added some files to the folder. Let's go back into GitHub Desktop, and you see that you have all of these files that got added. 14,219 changes. That's a lot. So let's actually cut this down a little bit. And to do that, we're going to go into our files again and click on your .gitignore. And inside of the gitignore, so these are all of the names of the directories that we want to ignore, but actually we want to remove the slash that's in front of all of them. So this will hide any folder called library with a capital L or a lowercase l, and anything inside of that folder that's called library from GitHub, and it won't allow it to push. So if we save this is the local gitignore file, and then we go back to GitHub, and I just clicked over here in this area, you'll see that we've updated our number of files, and it's only 27, which is much better than before. So now anything with the earlier files that we don't need to push our library files at all. And so you'll notice that we have a plus sign next to all of the files that we're adding, and then we changed gitignore, and if you click on the file, you can see the differences. So we removed all of the slashes, and it will do the negative sign by all the things that we removed, and then plus sign next to everything that we added. And so you could go through, and anytime you change any little thing, you can go back through and find out what that change was, what happened, and if you need to undo it, you can pretty easily inside of a Git project. So now in order to put this onto the cloud server, we need to do 2 things. We need to do a commit, which basically just is what this is down here. So we say, since this is the first time we're pushing it, we're just going to say initial commit. And then in the description, you can, say all the specific tasks that you did inside of this commit, or each little step that you made or something like that, just to make it easier for next time if you're going back trying to find which commit did what thing and what broke something. If you have a little description, it really helps. So we've typed in initial commit, and then we've got this button down here, this little button down here at the bottom. It says commit to main. So click on that, and we've committed it, but we have not pushed it. So it is committed locally on our machine right now, but it is not in the server yet. And in order to put it in the server, we need to push. So we can either press this button right here or up up here at the top, push to origin. And origin just means the cloud server. So now if we go back to our GitHub page on the internet and refresh, you'll see we have the Git demo project in here with the assets, packages, project settings, and user settings all in here, which is exactly what we want. So let's say we go into our project. Let's open that back up and let's add a 3D cube just in the middle of the project. And we save it. And now let's go back to Git. You'll notice that it's logged a change. And so you have all these different values that define that cube that we put in. And these are everything that Unity uses to say there's a cube at this location with this size, with this color in the spot. And we can create a commit and say we added a cube, and then you can add a description if you want, say why you added the cube, something like that. So this should be very short, just a couple words, and then your description can be longer. And then we're going to press this button down here, commit to main. So now we've committed locally, and we can't see any changes in the origin yet until we push. So we need to push to origin. It's going to make sure there's no conflicts. And then when everything's clear, that means that you are synced from your origin and your local file. And you could use different branches. So sometimes in bigger projects, people will create dev branches. So if I wanted to make a new branch and call it dev, could create a new branch. And now you have basically two different version histories running at the same time. So I can make all the little changes I needed to make on the dev branch and then merge that back into the main branch. And that way we just have the big updates. So 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 on the main branch, but then dev can have the 1.3.4 or 1.3.6. And that's how that whole process works. If you want me to do a little more in-depth tutorial about this kind of stuff, let me know. I know this isn't particularly VR stuff, but it's important to do for your projects, regardless of if you're doing VR projects or if you're just making websites. It's important to do a GitHub version control kind of thing in whatever project you're making, regardless of the type of game or code or whatever. It's just, it's that safety net, you know? So there you go. That's how you add a project to GitHub and you prevent your project from dying. But in all seriousness, if you like add an asset and it completely messes your project up, like if you're halfway through your game and you're like, oh, I need this extra asset, and then you add it to your project and it completely messes everything up, there's not really an easy way to just like remove stuff from Unity projects. It is all intertwined and it gets really complex. So if you have this version control and version history, you can go back to previous versions and previous histories and you can start over from a previous save point is basically what you're doing. So think of version control as adding checkpoints to your game development process, and you'll be much happier. I recommend doing a commit and a push every time you complete a task. Try not to wait too long before you do pushes. So like when you're playing a game, every time you do a quick save, it's better to do more quick saves than it is to do less. And then you have to go back way far in the game and redo a lot of stuff if you end up losing something and you weren't saving regularly. So save your projects locally, save regularly, you know, just in the Unity editor, but then also commit regularly and push to the origin branch regularly. That way you have this backup in the cloud. And that's all I have for today. If you want some more tutorials like this that aren't necessarily VR, let me know. I'm down to do whatever. I'm still making my game in the background. The reason I'm doing this tutorial is because I had to add my game that I'm making right now to a Git repo, and I figured you guys would enjoy learning about how to do this if you don't know how to do it already. I know it's not particularly a VR specific tutorial, but I think it's very useful. So let me know if you want some more stuff like this, just, you know, general advice about how to make games, and I'll see you next week.